You're listening to the Mind Manual Podcast, Episode 12, Dare of the Day. Hello and welcome back. Today's session has been designed to stretch your comfort zone. A lot of what's been covered in previous episodes has been about the relationship with ourselves, processing our emotions, and of course, learning how to master our mind, which has all been very passive and conceptual. So I thought it might be time to take it a step further and get into some action. For what good is any of it if we never put it into practice? I believe we all have a seed within us that wants to germinate into its fullest expression. And that seed is being fertilised by a divine nudge that suggests there could be something more, that perhaps we haven't realised or our full potential or tapped into our creative capacity. This can show up as a dissatisfaction and discontent with our lives and can have us craving and longing to run towards what could be over to the other side of possibility and abundance. We live in an abundant world, but the way we've been programmed has us running back to our cave where it's safe and comfortable. When we can learn to override this primitive part of our brain, it frees us from our conditioning and all the limitations that comes with our default programming to a life that is more fluid, where you can move past these constructs and work through the emotions that would otherwise paralyze you into inaction. Today's exercise will require you to practice the concept of being there for you and having your own back. This will need to translate into not making any particular result or outcome mean anything negative about you. Getting a no or not getting the result you want must not translate into diminishing yourself in any way or in thinking there must be something wrong with you. It will require you to take whatever emotion you're feeling and bringing it along with you for the ride. As you just observe it in your body and as you quiet your mind and cease all the stories around it in order to allow that energy to pass right through you. It will feel as if you're placing yourself in harm's way, which is what your primitive brain wants you to believe. But I want you to see right through this and open yourself up to allowing that fear to be there without resisting it and just become the observer of that energy as it passes, freeing you to go and do the thing that would otherwise hold you back. We're going to call it the dare of the day. I want you to dare yourself to stretch past your own boundaries each and every day. In order to expand our lives and grow into the version of you who is already living the life you once dreamed it could be, it will require us to manage our mind, process our emotions, and be there for ourselves. This applies to any goal you ever set for yourself, whether you want to apply it to your health and weight loss, your business and career, or any relationship that you have. In order to go to the next level, we must align with that greater version first, who is then able to take it there. And the way we learn anything new is through repetition and practice. If you want to get good at something, consistency will be key. It's very easy to intellectualize a concept, but a very different story to perform it in a routine way until it becomes your new default, habitual way of being. So I challenge you to set up a daily instance of daring yourself to move past the fear and the doubt and all the rejection and embarrassment that you might anticipate by placing yourself in a position where you get to feel and allow all of those emotions and then do it anyway. Very soon you will come to realize that you are far more powerful than you tell yourself or give credit to. And most importantly, that you're not going to die if you venture out of that cave. When you do this, you want to come from an energy that has you approaching your dare with a sense of curiosity for what's possible, in how far you could take something, and in what you hope to achieve out of it. It isn't necessarily about having to pull it off or succeed in every dare. The exercise is more about showing yourself that whatever happens, you can handle it when you stay open to processing any emotion in any situation and having your own back. This is you training yourself to move past anything, in breaking down all of the barriers that you've set up for yourself, and in being there for you in all the ways. So if you've set your life up where you've become accustomed to shrinking from all the possibilities, so much so that you're firmly in your corner and you don't even see the opportunities in front of you anymore because you don't allow yourself to go there, or you're so used to shutting them down that they no longer appear on your radar. The first step might be to just gently bring them back into your awareness by asking yourself some simple questions. If I wasn't afraid, what's one thing I would do differently today? If I wasn't shy, what is something I would say to someone instead of remaining silent or just passing them by? And if I didn't worry about failing, what would I take on? If I wasn't trying to avoid rejection, what is an offer I could put out to someone? Or something I could ask of them? Just identify whatever feeling it is that keeps you from taking action and ask yourself, if not for that, then what would I like to do? What would I like to explore or open up in my day or in my life? This is the reason why we do or don't do anything, because of the way it will make us feel. When we develop the skill and confidence in being able to move through any feeling, we will have the key to the universe. When the relationship we have with ourselves is strong and we're able to have compassion and stand in love for us in any situation, the good, the bad, and the ugly, then we have a solid foundation that we need to move through life that isn't subject to the shifting opinions and judgments from others that would otherwise stop us in our tracks. And when we're able to manage our mind to shift the focus and perspective in any situation to what's possible, then this is the trifecta that aligns to make our life work with whatever it throws at us. The dare of the day is the practice we need to take on new and interesting challenges that would otherwise induce a sense of dread or fear and paralyze us into inaction. The idea is to consistently place ourselves in a situation that requires us to consciously choose our thoughts, process our emotions, and back ourselves. This is how we develop confidence in stepping up and being able to overcome the things that would have us withdrawing back to our corner. When we can demonstrate to ourselves with a daily dose of evidence over a long period of time that we are far more powerful than we ever believed, it will start to become embedded into your identity, which is the deeper level that is driving how we show up in the world. This could start off with simple actions that you could initiate. Some examples might include offering to take the trolley back for an elderly person, giving a compliment to someone to make their day, making a heartfelt connection with a stranger in the street as you walk on by, ringing up someone that you've lost touch with to reconnect, reaching out to someone you'd like to become friends with, asking someone you admire to engage in a mentor session, volunteer yourself onto a board of a community organisation, surprising a friend with a birthday luncheon, signing up to a new fitness activity or social group. And if you're in business, create 10 new ways you could reach out to new customers to grow your business. Find a small daily instance that will have you reaching out of your comfy corner and building on them until you become confident to eventually leave the room and explore the world. So as silly as the dare of the day sounds, it's an amazing exercise that develops so much more than it first appears. This is the muscle we need to develop to expand ourselves and open our lives up to recognize the possibilities that exist and have the confidence to take them on. And a handy hint in preparing you for any dare or goal that you want to take on is to live into the future version of you that has already completed or achieved it. When you align yourself with the thoughts you would have and the way you would feel as if you've already done it, you can bypass a lot of the self-defeating mental chatter that we tend to focus on leading up to the event. And instead, you live into the energy of what it feels like to already be on that other side of it. When you approach something that is being fueled from the feeling of already having done it, instead of feeling fear, it feels familiar and all is okay in the world, whatever happens. You aren't so needy and wanting to control the outcome because you know what's on the other side. You already know what that feels like. So whatever way or form it takes to get there, it's just a matter of figuring it out through trial and error. It removes the sense of needing to be in a rush for it because you've already tapped into what it's like to live in that reality. All too often, we imagine that the grass is always greener over there, when really it's just different. It's just another experience of the 50-50 nature of life. In this realm of relativity, we cannot escape the opposite that always exists. It's the contrast we need to know hot from cold, dark from light, or whether something is great and joyful, because we've also experienced the opposite of what that is. And this applies to everything. So if you can see how something may appear to solve for an area of your life, expect there to be something else that will likely present in another area. It's just a different variation of the 50-50 of life that we cannot escape. So it's not the be-all and end-all. If we succeed or not, it's just another flavour and another way. And at the end of the day, we all still have our mind to carry around, and that will need managing. This is where all our suffering is created and perpetuated. So just have some fun with it and open your life up to a few more flavours and a few more ways of being, and marvel in the variety and experience of it all. I dare you.